This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Are all batteries the same? That's like asking if all soccer players are the same. Take Messi, the most decorated player ever. Is there any other player who has achieved that? No, just him. Now take Duracell. Is there any other battery with power boost ingredients inside? No, just Duracell. Remember, goats only trust goats because they're built different. And Messi only trusts Duracell.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire, the no-show. Who set you back because they didn't show up on day one, or day two, or ever again. And now your product launch is delayed because you're talking to alien abduction podcasters to track them down. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can help make sure your next hire sticks. In fact, businesses who use LinkedIn are 24% less likely to reopen a role in the next 12 months. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with another shade of blue. We are the Kansas City Soccer Journal. This show is sponsored by Core Outdoor Equipment. My name is Cody Bradley. I've got Thad Bell, Carrie Robinson, and Robert Russert here with me. Thank you all for joining me. Sunday night after the Argentina win in Kansas City last night, but we've got Sporting KC things to talk about. Rumors are happening. There's some positivity swirling around Sporting Kansas City, at least a little bit right now. So we're going to start right here with the Mo Salah rumors. Thad Bell, what do you think about your team reportedly leading the way for Egyptian star Mo Salah?
Leading the way is an interesting way to put that. The front runner of MLS teams. So that still puts us behind Europe and possibly Saudi Arabia. But it's interesting and great player. I don't know, I don't really love signing mid-30s strikers for the first contract kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I also don't necessarily... I would love to know whether we would be pursuing him because he's Egyptian and Peter Maluk has Egyptian ancestry roots, or I can't remember if he was born there or here, but it doesn't matter. But if we're pursuing him because he's Egyptian, I don't necessarily love that. If they're pursuing him because he's a great player, great.
Well, do you think he's a great player?
Yeah, he's a great player. I just wonder how much more greatness he has in him.
So what that was referencing there, I think Maluk is a first-gen American. I think that means he was born here, but I think both parents came from Egypt.
Yeah, I think that's right. I just didn't want to misstate it, so I just wasn't sure which way. But
well, look at it this way. One, it is, someone that we can get excited about. And you need more fans in the stadium. Like, it is looking dire out there. And so if this is, a long shot to try to get butts in seats, great. If he just so happens to be a great soccer player as well, even better.
Yeah, he looks good in this World Cup enough for me that he could do some damage in MLS, Robert.
Do you think he can beat out Shoppy?
Yeah,
No.
I think he could beat out Shoppy. I do. I think that
was...
But can he beat out Shoppy? That's the question.
I think the current roster has beat out Shoppy.
Yeah. Every person texted me, they said, but can he beat Shoppy? Or they're like ranking him between like him and like Calvin Harris and everyone.
Yeah, so the signing like this, my initial reaction, at least always in the past, would be like, that sounds great. At least how I was for Cristiano Ronaldo, right? It's like, that sounds great, but if it's going to just cripple our club when he doesn't pan out or doesn't play because he's hurt or is an asshole, whatever, I don't want it to cripple our club. But the way Peter Maluk has been talking, Thad, I'm have that feeling less so this time, because if he is not serious about everything he's saying, he's putting himself in an awful spot.
Not the way that he's talking, the way that he's tweeting.
Yeah. Tweeting, talking. There was that story, I think it was in the New York Times, where he has that quote about telling other millionaires that there's other investments that you should make other than a sports team. And his point being, like, that's not why you do this. Like, this is a thing that you do. And he is saying all the right things. And if he's not serious about spending money on big stars that would sell jerseys and things like that, then he's putting himself in a really tough spot for when that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I think he's serious. I mean, will Mo Salah come here? Don't know. I mean, that still is a long shot, as Tom Bogert and other people who have way more inside knowledge has reported. But if he comes and he plays and he works out, I'm less worried about him crippling the team, because there'd be other money to spend, right? It's not my money, it's Peter Maluk's money. But in the past, if you committed $10 million to a player, there probably wasn't going to be another $10 million to put towards another player,
right?
Polito, for example.
Yeah.
So
killed my club.
Yeah, he. But as far as that, against the salary cap, it's only the same. He costs the same amount as Manu and Dayon. So,
well, I mean, Maluk's putting his faith in David Lee. Like, we have been talking. Our faith is in David Lee. We believe so far, anyway. But there's some signings that are coming in, and we're going to see what kind of quality David Lee has brought in. So that'll be interesting for sure.
So to summarize those signings, to just catch everybody back up here, the new ones, we had some. Borges came in. I think we only saw him a couple times, but the actual new ones that have arrived is Orblorian, Amir Karic, and Moises Mosquera. So those three, plus the inevitable arrival of Mo Salah. How are you feeling about the second half of this MLS season, Thad?
Even without Mo Salah, even if there was no other players added, I feel like this is going to be a much better team, an improved team, because the defense has got to be better with Orblorian and Moises there, right? And
if I said that to you, you would be like, "Well, it doesn't have to." That would be your exact response. You'd be like, "No, it could be worse."
Well, yeah, it could be, but if it's going to be worse, I mean, we still have the exact same players we had.
Okay, valid point.
I think I was looking back at some stats from Chicago's game, which, wasn't that long ago. And like everyone on our back line had a 3-point something rating.
Yeah.
Okay. It has to be better.
Yeah.
That's true. Low bar to beat.
It would be difficult to go lower.
Even worse. Yeah.
And also remember, they won 2 of their last 3, and even in the one they lost, they looked pretty decent. So it was the if you go back 4 or 5 games, then they look like crap. But so they were improving. They were looking better. Like they had found the connection, and everybody was starting to be in sync with each other. So even just bringing in a better back line almost has to make this team a much better team. Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
You also got to look at Basong. I mean, he's essentially a new player this season to the squad. He had a couple of good games before the break, and him being in midfield, I think, is going to make a major difference as well. And now he's going to have stronger support behind him, so that's going to help.
And if you look at the games that they played better in, that they won 2 of and looked good in the third, that was games that Basong played. Yeah, because he didn't play so many at the beginning, and that's very good point, Robert. Thank you.
Did you guys see the video that the team put out where they were all on bikes in training, and they asked who would drop out first of the Tour de France, and most of them said Basong.
Do you think they asked that because they know you're such a big fan, Cody?
They did that just for me.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
in the height of the World Cup, there's Cody. That is Tour de France.
Yeah, he don't care about them World Cup games in Kansas City. He's watching them people ride bicycles around in some foreign country.
Oh, I watch them all. Been some good stages, Thad. Should check in. So yes, back line shored up a little bit. Basong in the midfield is just going to give the attack, which is the one spot we do have some confidence in, at least the striker spot, is just going to give him a few more chances, Robert.
Yeah, I mean, Dayon, I think obviously is going to be a critical piece, but I think Manu is going to benefit overall from this as well
Yeah.
because he's probably going to have players, I hope, who can get him the ball a little more frequently in the spots that he needs to get the ball. And again, we're going to be maybe not so much space between the lines, thus keeping possession a little bit more. So I think Manu is going to be a big benefit here. A benefactor, I should say, I guess.
Yeah. It all depends on who's playing where, I guess, too. When because like the game they just played in Atlanta, I think they played more or less a 4-4-2, and it looked like Manu was up top, at least by the way the roster they put out. And I don't think that was his best spot. But again, it was Atlanta. It was not the full lineup that they will have and all that stuff. But
Well, a hope is that Capita becomes, a threat because right now in the last 14 games or whatever it is, if I'm the opposing team, I got to take care of Dejan Jovic and I got to take care of Manu.
yeah,
And you can do that
And
pretty
that's it.
easily. There's only two players you really have to worry about.
yeah. And then it should also benefit Calvin Harris because you got one speedy guy on the right, one speedy guy on the left. You got talented scorer in Dayon and Manu, who at times is really good. At times, I'm a little worried about him. And then Basong and Lasse Berg-Janssen, who has shown that he can break some lines with passes when he's not always under pressure, things like that. So all of those will benefit by having more players that are performing. Calvin came on in the last few games also. Um, he scored some goals and he looked really good in some of those games. So,
Well,
and
all the competition on the roster is going to help too for spots, but they're going to be juiced because they got these new players coming in. They've had a time off. They've been watching the World Cup. But the problem with that is so is every other MLS team. So
yeah. And
Yeah,
then
but
if they
have they been playing other World Cup teams though?
True that. So we've been talking about players all over the field, the new arrivals. Let's do your core player to watch in this second half for Sporting Kansas City. Thad, are you going with one of these new guys that we don't know anything about? You're going with a key existing player? Who's your core player for our fans to watch in the second half?
I will go with Moises Mosquera, however you say his name. I hope I'm getting kind of close. That dude, I barely have seen him do anything but a few minutes in training, and honestly, he didn't look spectacular, but he was also really exhausted, and they were running him ragged in the heat. But he looked like a monster, man. He just looks like he can body anybody, and when he was getting a good touch, it was a good touch. So I would look at him.
Robert, your core outdoor equipment player to watch.
I'm going to have to go in a similar vein. I was going to say goalkeeper because if you remember, Pulskamp, he's not the number one anymore. So the performance goalkeeper is going to be important. But I'm going to say Orblorian. Yeah, the whole key here is the center backs, right? If we can control the field, control the pitch a little bit more with those guys and not, have to worry so much about our backs being one-on-one, then that's going to just help the whole team that much more. So I got to go with Mr. Blorian.
Carrie.
I was also going to say Orblorian because
That's fair.
we've had him for months, but we've known of him for months.
Yeah.
But because Robert said that, I will say Calvin Harris because he was kind of starting to get his ground in the last few games before the break. We were kind of down on him, except for me. So, I'm hoping that he can kind of keep that run.
I think I've been very positive on Calvin. He did pretty well at his previous team under a really mediocre coach, and he was able to
What
do
was that
some
coach's
things.
name?
I
Something
forget.
that runs to like.
Oh, Lord.
I'm higher on Calvin Harris since that kid at the World Cup panel asked us about him, and that kid's a fan of him. So now I'm rooting for Calvin Harris to do better.
What that kid says, I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
Yes.
And no, I think he is not going to be your best winger in MLS, but I think he is a very serviceable winger in MLS, and he will get you a few goals and a few assists, and will stretch the lines and give you some really good time. Now, with a better team, maybe he's even better. I don't know, but I know we've argued back and forth on him in the past. Like, is he already at his peak? I think he can still get a little bit better, but I'm not saying he's going to be spectacular.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what he does with a better team. Hopefully, we're assuming we'll be better.
We can only assume
in somewhere. We can only go up.
Right.
And again,
see, that's where Thad always jumps in. Well, be careful with that.
Yeah, we can still be worse.
Maybe they're still rock bottom.
And see, that's the question is, we've debated this a bunch of times on pods. Have we hit rock bottom? And I'm always like, you don't know you've hit rock bottom until you're climbing out of it.
And then it kept getting worse.
And it got bad.
But there are positive signs in that there is reinforcements coming on defense, even if they're not the regular starters. Like, I mean, I expect Orblorian to be a regular starter, but maybe Moises Mascara is competing with, Ian James and Wyatt for starting time. But that's competition. That's goodness, right? And you have Amir Carrick, who is a left back who will be battling with Reed for starting time. But the right back is still a little bit of a worry. I don't want Jake Davis being there regularly, and Justin Reynolds. I always have to alphabetically remember which one is left and right. Justin Reynolds has seemed to have, the last time I was there, he was still recovering from another injury. So he seems to be a little bit injury prone. When he's there and at his best, he's not too bad. He's fast and does all these things. So that could be another area they still need to reinforce, or just go with a 3-back system and don't worry about those guys.
I feel like with all these signings and just the turnover, I'm going to have to make flashcards for all these players.
Right. Yeah. Maybe so.
Okay. For my core outdoor equipment player to watch, I too am very interested in Mosquera. I am excited at the prospect of having a big, physically imposing player. I just feel like it just seems like so long since we've had something like that. I guess maybe Iko Para is the last one that I'm thinking of. So I'm very excited for him, but I will say Manu Garcia for this one. We've seen him be very, very good. He's in a very important role, and we haven't seen a ton this season. The whole team has been poor. We've already talked about that a better back line could benefit him here, but yeah, I've been a little bit disappointed in Manu, and I would like to see him come out of the gates here in the second half being the key player that we very desperately need.
Yeah, Cody, I mean, the fact remains we have one dependable scorer. That's not going to make our team, race up the standings. We're going to need somebody that's going to start scoring more consistently, whether that's Calvin Harris, whether it's Manu, hopefully, whether it's Capita, I don't know, but we need that second threat where teams, can't just focus on day on so much.
Yeah, it would be nice. And remember, they have been linked to 2 other wingers out there. Linked doesn't mean they're coming, although it seems like the players we've been linked to so far this year have showed up for the most part. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Jan Gobo and Andre Luiz, however you say it. He's Brazilian winger. And both of those have been in the $18 to $20 million range.
Still confused about that Brazilian guy being worth $20 million, but
yeah.
There seems to be some add-ons as well, which could factor, but
okay.
Do tell.
I don't know. There was just performance. Prepared. No, I was not prepared. It seemed like there were $9 million in performance factors. Granted, it's going from brother teams, so the owner owns 3 or 4 teams, and he's going from one to the other. Presumably, this guy, their plan was to eventually get him to not Newcastle, but another Premier League team, Nottingham Forest,
or to do that transfer and inflate his value and make him look like he's more exciting than he is.
Exactly.
He did score a decent amount of goals in Portugal First Division.
Yeah, but he has I haven't looked at transfer market for specific stats, but according to Wikipedia, he has under 100 professional caps, which for having a 20 million price tag seems very little.
Yeah.
Could just be that they are very high on his potential. Again, both of those guys did not necessarily seem like $20 million players to me, but once you get past the salary cap level, I mostly don't care.
Yeah. Especially with the owner speaking the way he's been speaking.
Yeah. I mean, if he if it was previous administration, I would say, yeah, you got to always spend wisely and you don't want to overspend. I don't care if they overspend a little bit now. I don't want it to be a consistent thing because that will turn to be a negative in the long run. But
Okay. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Google Health. Stop chasing someone else's definition of health. What matters is what's healthy for you. Google Health offers a new kind of coach built with Gemini for effortless tracking, sleep insights, and holistic coaching tailored to you. Visit googlestore.com to learn more and start a new relationship with your health. Requires Google account, Google Health app, internet, and Google Health premium subscription. Features subject to change. Availability and results vary. Not intended for medical purposes. Works independently of Gemini apps. Check responses for accuracy.
Hey, it's Bill from the Bill Simmons podcast. FIFA World Cup 26 fans, listen up. As the official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 26, Michelob Ultra is giving away $1 million worth of FIFA World Cup 26 tickets and prizes. Enter now at MichelobUltra.com/superior access/FIFA World Cup 26. Michelob Ultra FIFA World Cup 26 superior access, no purchase necessary. Open U.S. residents 21 plus, begins on December 1st, 2025, ends on July 31st, 2026, multiple entry periods. Visit www.MichelobUltra.com/superior access/FIFA World Cup 26 for free entry deadlines, prizes, and details.
Pace Checkout is offered by your banks and credit unions. So when you shop online at participating merchants, your cards appear in one place, ready to use and kept up to date. And the best part, your actual card number isn't shared when you check out, because boundaries are healthy, like no work emails after 6. One small step for boundaries, one big leap for checkout. Pace. It checks out. Activation required. See Pace.com to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
This summer, soccer is here, and so are the watch parties. And Uber Eats has your game day essentials covered. Everything you need to keep your crowd happy, delivered straight to your door. Get wings, pizza, chips, dips, fresh ingredients, and more. Keep the soccer going and all your game day essentials flowing. Order in so you can lock in for the games. Only on Uber Eats for a limited time.
All right. Thad, your favorite subject currently, the Kansas City Current.
Currently.
I believe they lost to Orlando. Is that right?
They did. Didn't look the best. Again, missing Cooper, who was out for unknown reason. Timwa only played a portion of the game. He started Rocky Rodriguez instead of Bailey Feist. There was just some changes and there were some injuries, and Orlando has not been the best this year, but they're also still a pretty decent team. And yeah, they lost 3-0.
I feel like it was more of a game of two halves, because it looked decent in the first half. I watched the first half in between two volleyball games, and then the second game started. I went to go play, and I came back, and they were down 3-0.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. And again, they didn't look too bad a lot of the game, but once they started giving up goals, I think they just got frustrated a little bit. But that's a 6th loss in regular season play, I believe. So they're 2-6 on the road.
Not great.
Yeah.
Cody,
2-7 if you count Gotham, the Champions Cup game.
Cody, did you hear about the Michelle Cooper having to pay a fine for her cleats?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so NWSL has now ruled that you have to have like Nike or Adidas cleats. Michelle Cooper signed a deal with New Balance in college, and so technically she has to tape it up, the New Balance side of her cleats. And so she ran over after she scored one of her goals last week to one of the cameras and pointed at her untaped New Balance cleats.
Oh, hell yeah.
And got fined $500.
Well, New Balance is paying for that, right? I mean, if that's a functioning company in any way, they're paying that.
There was a athletic article where Kayla Sharples, her cleat brand is much smaller, Cadix, I believe. They said they'd pay for her. There was no word on Michelle Cooper, but also the NWSL PA is fighting it, so technically nothing has to be paid until a decision is firm between the fight.
Yeah, I missed that.
So speaking of branding, guys, I'm just going to throw this in there. Cleaning out one of the locker rooms last night, and the brand of hand soap had to have tape put over it because it wasn't a brand associated with the World Cup sponsors.
That's great.
Everything had to be taped over. It's the company that makes the sign, the boards, the animated, the lit boards on the side, has a lit
I saw
logo in the back, and it's taped over. And what's funny is it's taped over like 90% of it, but there's a little bit of it left. So I just like pulled the tape off, looked at it, and kind of put it back a little bit at this last game. But
I think my favorite was the ketchup, mustard, and mayo stands.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about the whole World Cup stuff in a minute, but as evil as FIFA can be and as pain in the ass they can be, I am impressed by how well organized all of that is. So
Yes, oppressive regimes are often like that. Really very buttoned up, good security, control over everything.
So speaking of, back to the current for a second. They did a Ted Lasso
Yeah.
presser.
Ted was here. Ted and Coach Beard were here, yeah?
And Keely and the boss lady. I can't remember her name. Hannah Waddington is her real name, but
Waddingham.
Shame.
So they were here, and one of the new people in the series, they did a presser at the current, and I just saw a lot of people complaining about the whole event, that it was like not well done for fans because they were sitting in the heat and all this other stuff, and then it was really short, and then I guess they did their thing, and Jason Sudeikis and Coach Beard, whatever his real name is, I can't remember, booked it over to the World Cup game.
Yeah, I mean, the timing of that event was interesting. Why on the day that Argentina and Switzerland are playing in the World Cup in Kansas?
Essentially at the same time, like right at that time.
Yeah.
Like, do you not think that that's going to draw more attention than your event?
Well, so like how long? Were they really not there very long, or like they cut it short in some kind of way, or it just was not a very long event?
All I'm going off is what fans said, and they said it was just really short. They did just a few minutes of the presser, and then we're gone. I wasn't there. I haven't seen a video of it, so I don't want to state that I know exactly what happened, but it just seemed like a very weird timing. Like they could have done that at a different time.
Yeah. I mean, I think they just threw on the game on the big screen outside of their little Ted Lasso thing.
New season on August 5th coming up.
It's been nice to look out my window and see a bus that has Ted Lasso on it instead of just Mike's Got This.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a nice switch up. Mike does have this, though.
Yeah.
I have participated in shooting his lawyers. Photos.
Thad's daddest joke that he'll ever have, and he'll never stop telling. Okay.
I always want to leave you with just a hint of doubt.
So cool. It seems we're frustrated with the current on all accounts. They can't even do a Ted Lasso event properly. Moving on. Sporting KC had that scrimmage with ATL that we got to actually see. I didn't because I was working. But Thad, you checked in on that. You said it was good to see them back in their mid-season form. So I'm assuming it didn't go well.
Defense was rather porous at times. I mean, they lost 3-2, so
scored some goals. Positive.
Yeah.
And we got a little bit of pushing at the very end. Warblorian got shoved to the ground, and Basong on his back. He went up against the guy.
Basong will always have everyone's back. That's why we love him.
Right. Yep. They probably could have used him on the Canadian national team.
He's that kind of guy.
But hey, Jesse Marsh is a very accomplished coach and has always been able to manage all that stuff. So I'll leave that to him.
Thanks, Jesse Marsh.
Am I right? We've been outscored 8-3 in scrimmages over the World Cup span here. Wasn't England 5-1?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
We won one, assuming that we beat Des Moines. Whoever it was.
I forgot about that one, Gary.
We won one.
We'll take it.
They actually had another one after the Atlanta one against, I think, also Atlanta people. And again, to be fair, because I always try to like look at these things in a little better context, but it was a 90-minute game, but Atlanta played their starters for 60 and then brought in like a whole new wave and it was 3 minutes. So they brought in a whole new wave of players for the last 30, and that's when they gave up one of the goals. And Sporting played the same starters for the full 90. And then they brought in a whole nother lineup that we didn't get to see. So that might have been players who were not P1 visaed yet. Who knows? I don't know that. Not suggesting they did anything nefarious or illegal in any way. That how
sounds like just visitors that wanted to play pickup soccer.
Yeah.
I heard a blatant accusation. So it is rivalry week. We are playing Sporting Kansas City is playing St. Louis City this weekend, Carrie.
Yeah, I hope that they put all the new guys in like a chair and like shock them every time they saw a St. Louis like propaganda.
Just
like,
get the vibes
Or the
right.
color red,
Yeah.
just to go there.
I need them to get it together.
Yeah.
Well, you know, every time I went somewhere related to the World Cup, there was always one person with a City jersey on. There always one. So they're just like nagging us.
Oh, I went to the Bendrazo, outside of Cafe Corazon, and I got there. You know, everyone's in blue, and they're in a dance circle, and I got like somewhat close, and the person closest to the middle was wearing St. Louis red.
Yeah, there's been I've seen a lot of St. Louis jerseys here. They were proud to wear those coming from St. Louis over to the World Cup games here. They made sure to wear those pink jerseys.
Yeah, funny they couldn't have a World Cup game over there.
Yeah, isn't it funny? Speaking of getting shot, anyway. But City has not really been bad. They're 3 or 4 spots above us in the standings. Yeah. They actually, guys, have top half expected goal differential in the league. So, I mean, if you look at that stat, that's pretty impressive. And they got Marcel Hartl, who's going to always be a threat. They've let go a couple of guys over the break, and I'm sure they're bringing in some guys to replace them too. So, teams both, in a similar situation, if you will.
It's been very funny to watch them cry on Twitter whenever we got Mo Salah, just like reports, and they're all just hating on their ownership.
Yeah, they're very mad, and they, we can't have nice things. The only player we got was a $50,000 MLS Next Pro reject kind of thing. I don't think that guy's that bad.
God, it's so much fun.
They're whining on Reddit, on Facebook, on Twitter. It's kind of entertaining that they look at us and go, they're doing stuff. Yeah.
A long shot.
Well, that's why the team puts out that's why they let it leak that we were looking at Cristiano Ronaldo, and that's why this gets out. And we kind of roll our eyes at it, okay, long shot, but then there's stupid people in St. Louis that are really happy about it or really unhappy about it, and that's why we do it.
I think we should be taking bets for who we're going to try to get a long shot of in 2030 after the World Cup.
Okay,
what aging player?
I am glad that this game is in St. Louis. We've got all these new players that need a couple weeks to get acclimated. The one where they come do it here is August, like mid-August, I think. So I've got a few weeks to get back into shape and get some of these new players acclimated, because I know we got some positivity swirling around the team, some new players, and it might not be as bad as it was. But at the current moment, I'm still just only hoping that we can keep the streak of not losing, of keeping St. Louis from having a win in our city.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with that. But I just want to take a moment because I've already complained about FIFA and some other teams. I want to complain about MLS now. Okay. First of all, have seen almost I don't know if I've seen any MLS advertisements or related promotions around the World Cup stuff other than what Sporting KC has done themselves. So no MLS stuff like, hey, by the way, we're coming back shortly, come watch us, or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I want to go back to the beginning of the season, MLS schedule makers. Oh, it's rivalry week. Sporting in St. Louis. Both of those games are midweek games.
Yeah.
What the hell is your problem? So irritating.
They have many problems, Thad.
Yeah. I mean, give us a midweek rivalry game against Minnesota. Who cares?
Well, maybe that was the point. The return to MLS, get people excited. The first game's back, make them games people would be excited about. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess
if
that's
you,
the logic.
I do plan on going over there. So if anybody else is going, do make sure you bring your body armor.
Okay. Thad, David Lee is having a presser.
Yeah, and it's David Lee, Wiki, and the 3 new players, Blorian, Mascara, and
okay.
Garich are all having turns, so it's not a just David Lee win, but hopefully everybody there understands that this is not, we don't get to talk David Lee very often, and this is a perfect opportunity to ask him about his signings, the movements, the plans that are still underway, potential players, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and don't waste his time asking him how the World Cup is.
Okay, no fluff questions. We got to get some details out of David Lee in this press conference.
Like, does he have Maluk's checkbook on his desk? I mean, is it right there?
Yeah.
No, he has a wallet with a card in it.
Yeah, there's a card. Okay. So, St. Louis on Thursday. Already back into action. World Cup's not done yet, but we got to click back over to MLS.
It's only a couple more games, though, so.
That's true.
4 more games, right?
Yeah.
Sure, and we got days 3 off matter now.
Yeah, and you're right, 3 that matter. And the last game in Kansas City was the 100th World Cup game.
Was it? I missed that. Good job. Okay, we're going to go to break and come back and talk about that game and the rest of the World Cup.
Welcome to a new era of baseball's great spectacle, the T-Mobile Home Run Derby, live on Netflix. The biggest sluggers in baseball put their talents to the test on All-Star Weekend. Raw power meets star power. Big swagger meets bigger slams. And you don't swing to make contact. You swing to make history. Watch the T-Mobile Home Run Derby live on Netflix this Monday, July 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
This summer, serve up the Cookout Classics, Kraft mayo and dressing. Toss green salads with delicious ranch dressing or zesty Italian. Serve smooth, craveably creamy potato salads with mayo. We all know it's not a cookout without Kraft.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Cats, this ad is for you. Has your human ever called you picky, persnickety, choosy? If so, Perfect Bistro Cat Food is for you. With ingredients like wild-caught tuna and pasture-raised lamb, tantalizing textures, and delectable flavors that meet even the most discerning cat standards. You're not picky, you're just perfectionists. Perfect Bistro, mealtime perfection for every cat. Have your human visit perfectbistro.com.
All right. Carrie, I heard you say earlier you went to one of the Banderazos in the Crossroads. How was that?
Yes, it was great. Did the one in the plaza when they were here the first time. I knew I was going to be back to Kansas City kind of late since I had an 8:45 volleyball game. And so I got to catch like the last hour of the one outside of Cafe Corazon. It was great. It was a blast. Everyone was dancing. They were making like the tunnels that you do as like a little kid after soccer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was at the one on the plaza. Good times. I was wondering when I saw all that going on over there, I was like, because I was there really late. I was like, how did they all get over there? And I was confused by that. But there's just that many people here in different locations partying in Kansas City for that game.
Did you get to see like the giant? Did you get to get a picture with like one of the giant Messi cutout heads? Because I did.
Those things are a little
scares
freaky.
me.
Yeah,
Yes.
I saw multiple of them at the game. Like there was one guy who's had like a bigger than a mascot sized Messi head, and then there were a bunch of I saw little kids in Messi masks. Yeah, it was good times. They were all out there. Massive flags of Maradona smoking a cigar, and yeah, it was a great time. Nonstop singing. I said I had some buddies in town for the game. They were both from St. Louis, and I was happy to show them this thing going on in our city and that we walked there and take the streetcar, and all of my St. Louis friends, they can't help but give Kansas City credit every time they come here.
Nice. No, guys, Why don't they just have the semifinal here in Kansas City? I mean, Argentina,
Yeah, they
English,
wouldn't have
they're
to
both
travel.
here.
At Sporting Park. at the Champions League or field in Swope Park.
It's not too late to change that. We can do that.
Yeah, I mean, just you don't have to let the people who have tickets. They could just watch it on the big screen in whatever.
Exactly.
There you go.
Whatever city they were going to play it in. We should just keep it here. Have one more game. People who were credentialed to the last game gets in again. I would say
one more game,
of course.
And so one more game and one more Banderazzo because that was a grand old time. I bought a beer from a child. I bought several beers from a child, actually.
Did you feel like you were in Argentina then?
I did, man. They were pushing around carts and with Argentine street food.
But I would assume that kids are just giving out beers there.
I would assume that's what it
assume
felt
also these things are all unpermitted, whatever.
No, I had a long conversation about it. The cops are there. Like they were up on the high edge of Mill Creek Park. And I don't know. I wonder if it was just our Mayor Q just puts out an ordinance like, hey, we're here to let people have fun in this World Cup. Don't let nobody ruin this. They're
let
not
the children sell beer.
Choose your battles. Choose your
Or
battles.
just
As long as it's only beer.
The fact that anyone is selling beer and selling those shirts and selling food and things like that, there's no way all of those people had permits. And I think that's cool that our city was just like, hey, this is a fun thing. Don't ruin it.
It's not real beer anyway, so
It was Modelo's. I was drinking Modelo's. Don't worry.
You sure they weren't counterfeit Modelo's?
Well, I couldn't tell a difference.
Well, he did get the counterfeit jersey.
Yeah,
yeah, I did. $30 and this hat. Yeah, that was a great time.
Well, the first
I had a
time
blast.
they were pouring out the Fernet into big gulp drinks with Coke, and I was like, yes, this is what we need more of.
Awful Fernets. Ugh.
I would have loved to see the Quick Trip by the plaza during that.
Oh yeah. Man.
I heard the Argentinian people were taking over Target. If they're taking over Target, I want to see Quick Trip.
That Quick Trip is a sight to see without thousands of people gathered in the city.
Especially at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
That's when it starts to get busy.
Okay, so they all made it to Arrowhead the next night. Argentina wins after extra time. Pretty terrible game for Argentina. Valiant effort for the Swiss, but a very memorable night, and I can't believe I actually got to go there. This is my 6th World Cup game, Robert.
Crazy, man. And I told you you're being there all the time is going to pay off for you. But so I hear the Argentina press again, Cody, was in fine form.
Yes. There were a lot of attractive South American news women in this game. It was a fun press box for sure.
Well, that's not what I was even talking about. I was talking about their volume, apparently, right?
Yeah. I was not thinking you were talking about how pretty the women were. I was thinking you're talking about how good their questions were. That's the kind of form.
Yes, they are very loud, but that's been a thing the whole press box. And everyone's just wears jerseys. Like the photographers and people are in the press box, and not just Argentina, man. It was Colombia and Curacao, and it's just a different vibe here.
Yeah, photographer came into because you can borrow equipment from Sony or Nikon or Canon, and she was bringing lens and stuff back into Sony area, and she's wearing a Messi jersey and has a flag tied around her. So in Argentina, Argentina, Maradona, Messi flag, and they were like, it was just she would have looked perfectly normal in the fans section, in the stands, but that was part of the media.
Yeah, I left the press box again. I went outside and I just wanted to be out there for the anthems, but then it was just infectious and there was a spot open and I just sat out there the whole game.
Did anyone see the Swiss march down?
No.
I mean, I saw it afterwards, but apparently there was another fan march for Switzerland.
Yeah. In around PNL?
Yeah, PNL down to FanFest.
Wow, that's a long march.
I mean, I assume they started in Power and Light, but they did the exact same path that Netherlands did.
Nice.
Not
Any
as big.
Pictures though,
there's pictures. There's no pictures of overhead, so I can't tell how big it is. But it does seem like it's a decent chunk, at least a block or two.
Huh.
Nice.
Long.
Yeah, because there were not nearly as many of them at the stadium as there was for the Netherlands fans, that's for sure.
And
Dad,
also,
you were on the field for this one.
Yes.
Did you get some pictures of Messi?
Yes. I'm a
With
little
an
disappointed.
awesome camera, a better camera than you ever get to use?
Yes, it definitely was better than I normally get to use.
That's
I will be
cool.
taking contributions in case anybody wants to like upgrade my camera equipment for me because I can't afford it myself. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool, and I'm just disappointed I didn't get a goal celebration type of thing from him. But I feel like I got a couple of decent shots. I mean, him, the rare occasions that he runs with the ball, things like that.
How expensive was the camera that you were using? I don't know anything about cameras. Was it like a car, or was it just like, how much are we talking here?
Well, the one the body and lens I was using yesterday was less than the one I was using the game before that because there were so many photographers there. I did not get the lens I wanted to, and so I was a little bummed at that. But the one I was using before, the combination would have been about $21,000 ish.
Whoa, that is definitely more. I'm glad
that is
I
a
asked.
car.
That is a car.
That is a car.
And that
That's
was not the top end body. It was close to it. But
That's a 2-year-old Crosstrek.
I mean that's
Ask me how I
a
know.
shopping spree at CarMax.
That's the Kelly Blue Book value on Carrie's car right now.
Was.
Thad, did you so you're using a 21,000? How much is your camera? Like a few thousand?
If the one that I normally use when it was new would have been like if you combined everything together, it would have been 5 to 5,500.
So you can feel viscerally while you're taking pictures that is that much better of a camera, I hope.
The lens is really the difference in this case.
Interesting.
Just because what I was using the previous games was a 400 prime 2.8, and I will share a couple of photos here. I'll throw on the video pod and I'll share in our Slack channel. But just look at the bokeh in the background. It's like so creamy and so nice, and players are sharp, and everything back behind it is like artsy. So yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. I'm happy for you that you got to do that.
Well, Cody, I only have a camera on my phone, and I am not allowed to take pictures. But I did want to share a moment that did happen last night, though. And
you got to be on the field. I saw you out there on the field for a significant period of time, and you were playing with balls.
Yeah,
he was bouncing them and jiggling them, and
okay, we don't need to go there. Anyway, so the ball kids, right? There's these 14 to 16-year-old kids, I'm guessing. So after the game, right, they bring the balls in, and they were one short because some Argentine player just booted one of the balls up into the upper deck of the stadium. So, it's like, okay, we're short a ball. Anyway, those balls aren't cheap. They're like $500. But the ball boys, as the players were coming through the hallway, right, all gathered at the corner of the door, just waiting to see Messi. Messi comes through. The ball boys go nuts. Hey! Messi high fives one of them, and the guy who got high fived runs back into the room, just ran circles around the room, jumping into his friends' hugs in the air and everything. They were going ballistic just because one of them got to touch Messi.
Okay, you sent a message 10 minutes after he arrived that was like, first time 10 feet within Messi.
Yeah. Yeah,
so it happened about 10 times, but yeah.
Robert, did you recognize any of the ball boys?
No, should I have?
You should have.
Really? Why?
I don't know this.
One of them is the new homegrown that we just signed.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Did not notice that.
That's
Luca cannot pronounce the last name yet.
Yeah, either. His name is Luca.
Yeah, I'm forgetting.
His name is Luca.
Gorolami?
Yeah.
Anton
And
Girolami.
Girolami.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a fun moment, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the tweet that he was down there, and I was trying to figure out which one he was, but I wasn't sure if I picked out the right one. So I think all the ones last night were Sporting KC Academy kids, right? So Robert,
that's cool.
Somebody did not return one of the balls because the ball was kicked high into the stands and it wasn't returned. Is that what you were saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
What
that's not
happens?
true.
Not true. What details do you have, Mr. Thad?
One of the ball kids had the ball and was getting ready to like leave to go, and the fans were like, "Oh, let me touch it, let me touch it." He tossed it up into the stands. That ball went under his shirt and ran.
Really?
Yes.
So our ball kid was not telling the truth, you're saying? Interesting.
Well,
Thad, you're snitching right now, bro.
They don't know which one it is.
It was Luca. Just kidding.
No, it was not.
I'm kidding.
Well, see, now you've narrowed it down. Now we know it's one of the other ones. See, now you're just getting into it further.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
You should have texted that to me last night.
Yeah, but and then he realized like it was a mistake and was trying to get it back, and security was trying to get it back, and at
That's
some
not
point,
happening.
security told him, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
Someone walked out pregnant, and it was probably a guy.
Yes, it was a 20-year-old guy that walked out pregnant. Yes. So, but yeah, so it was kind of funny. I was watching that whole thing play out like right in front of me.
I had two gentlemen next to me, like a middle-aged man and his elderly father, and they were from Argentina and here for the game. And man, when that first goal went in, the embrace that they had, they just sat back in their chairs, just kind of looked at each other, looked out at the stadium, and like breathed it all in. It was such a beautiful moment. I'm so happy I got to see that. Those two were awesome. And another guy next to me, also Argentine, the whole game, he had on like one of the old like 2012 alternates for Argentina, the dark blue, but he also had a white shirt that not once was he waving it around like you do with Argentina fans. It was just draped over the front. It was draped over his chair. I was wondering the whole time what was going on with this. He waited the entire game. They waited all the way the first half of extra time. And then all of a sudden his shirt comes off. The white shirt goes on. He starts waving the other one around, and Argentina scored that goal 20 seconds later. I'm not even joking. The guy waited the entire time to bust out this move until the second half of extra time, and 20 seconds later, Julian Alvarez scored a worldie.
Yeah, what a goal that was.
Amazing.
Good Lord. So, Cody, we're going to talk about the controversy.
Oh, controversy. Yeah, is it a controversy? Let's talk about it.
Okay, well, let's see what we all think.
Is it a controversy that someone gets a yellow card for diving and it was like one of the worst dives you've ever seen? On what planet is this a controversy? Landon Donovan was making me so mad. I went back and watched the broadcast. He was being so easy on that guy. I'm sorry, that was a blatant dive. That's what you give it. It's a stonewall yellow card every time, right? Is there someone that'll fight me on that?
Well, I think the controversy is that if the referee hadn't called a yellow card initially, anyway,
Right.
it never would have been reviewed. But yeah, I mean, very unfortunate for Switzerland. But yeah, of course, diving like that should be punished. Sorry, man, your second yellow, you're gone. But
dumb as hell. He was dumb.
Yeah,
it's rarely punished though. That's the factor of it.
Yeah,
but it would not have been punished if the yellow had not gone against the Argentinian player, right? So they say, no, that's mistaken identity is the thing they're using, like they did with the Tim Ream one. And boom. So he didn't do a foul because there was no foul committed by the Argentinian. So once you look at it, you can say, yes, that was a dive. And because I'm pulling back a yellow, I can give a yellow. He would probably not have given that yellow, even if he had seen that it was a dive originally, right? But
I agree. I agree with all of that, except that maybe that you say that it's rare that they'd give a yellow card for it. A dive that bad, they give that yellow card. I know they don't always do it, but I don't know that I would say that it's rare. Like, that's a thing, and it has been for 15 years now. You throw yourself on ground like that to try to get somebody a card, you get a card. That's how we cut all of this out.
I agree that they should do it. I'm not saying that. It's just that I don't think the referees will see it live and say, oh, it was a blatant dive. It was maybe a dive and they went down easy or something like that. Yeah. Because he went to the monitor, it's a blatant dive. It's a yellow moved over.
It sucks for the Swiss. I feel bad that they had a dumb teammate make a horrible mistake on their team and ruin it.
Because they were competitive at that point. They were
competitive after that.
Yeah. I mean, there was times that they were the better team by far because Argentina looked tired. Like they were not
they did
in
not
it.
look good. They did not look good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, those two had been battling all game, and, of course, the first yellow that, I think Bombello was the right name, I believe, got was in an altercation with the same player, so but, another
That was
story.
a bad foul, too.
Yeah,
That was an
another
obvious
story.
yellow card, too.
So, we're
And
in
that
our
same guy, the guy before he got the second yellow, had another foul before that, and the referee looked at him and gave him the whole, no more, cut your bullshit, none of this, like, cut it out, and then he throws himself on the ground to get somebody else a card. Get off the field.
So, we're in our room between the locker rooms, right, watching this on TV, right, and we had to turn up the volume to hear what the referee's decision was gonna be, right? So, I grabbed the remote, turn up the volume, and then, of course, everything happens, the player starts walking down back to the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
And just before he got to us, I'm like, I probably better turn off the commentary on the TV. So I grabbed a remote and turned down the volume really quick just before he walked by our room.
Well, one thing I thought was interesting, I stood there for 2 hours after the game waiting on the mix zone to get a glimpse of all these guys again. And I was waiting for the guy that got the red card to come out because I was around Swiss media and I was hoping to like get to hear something that he would have to say about it. And I learned that it's FIFA policy that a red carded player does not face media and is like hidden and taken out a different exit. And so, yeah, I don't know. Little fun fact there. I didn't know that. I learned that last night.
It makes sense because of all the hate they get. I mean,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Especially from the totally unbiased media of each, national team's contingent that have traveled there. That would always be a very, calm and sane question period there.
Okay, guys. So, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, Cody, I know this isn't in a rundown, and if you don't want to talk about it, just say it. But where do you guys think the Heart from FanFest should end up? It's supposed to be permanent here in Kansas City. The mayor says it's staying around. Where do you think that that massive heart should go?
That's too big. Where the fuck could that thing even go? Oh, actually.
It's
hold on.
probably very unpopular, but I would keep it where it's at just because it frames the World War I memorial so nice.
It does.
I'm not
it
against
does,
that.
Yeah, agree.
It's like our Eiffel Tower. It's supposed to. It's kind of ugly, unless
It's not ugly. It's just not gorgeous.
when you first see it, yeah,
You
it's
get
like
up
our
close,
Eiffel
it's
Tower.
not pretty. It's less pretty when you're standing underneath it. It looks very temporary, and yeah, I don't know. No, how about go ahead.
I was saying, didn't they say they might build a permanent version of it though? So I mean, it might be
They're gonna have to
better.
reinforce it at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Winterize
the
it.
type of thing, the Liberty Memorial.
I mean, it could look good down in the River Market area. Maybe I could see it. Off the plaza there and the park there.
I've got
by
one
the-
for you.
Yeah.
How about the Barney Alice Plaza, which is currently under construction?
Right.
If you go to their website for that construction, the redevelopment thing, you'll see they've got some renderings of where some structures along the outside that I'm just saying that would be perfect right
That could
there.
work.
I saw
Good
someone
point.
say put it somewhere by CPKC. We could have the first heart at the first women's. We could have the first women's heart out at the first women's soccer stadium.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
Purposely built for
Yeah,
women, women-owned, professionally playing women's soccer. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned women enough in that sentence.
I think I had like 5 mentions in the previous sentence that I did on when we're doing before we started the recording. But
Okay, so we're down to the final 4. Robert, who you got here? France versus España and England versus Argentina.
Well, as I said, I think on a previous pod, France clearly has the most talent up and down their roster, and they're scary talented. They haven't looked fabulous in the last match or two. So I'm going to pick France over Spain. Argentina, England have history, of course.
England's
Argentina-
never played Messi. Did you know that?
No,
Isn't that crazy?
that is very crazy.
England has never played Messi. Sorry to interrupt you, but I
Oh,
thought that
you're
was
good.
crazy.
You're good.
they
But-
haven't made it that far in World Cups previously.
That's right.
Good point. But Argentina just didn't look that great. They looked tired. I mean, Messi looked very mediocre last night. But England, I said earlier, feels like a team of destiny. They've done some great things. The comeback against Congo, the win in Azteca. They survived thanks to a push against Norway. I'm going to go with England winning that one, and then I'm sticking with England. I think they just might do it, might pull it off.
I don't really
God,
see
I'm such
anybody
a
beating.
hater.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want England to win on the 250th anniversary of independence. And
Don't
also,
want
my
that.
sister is an English fan, and I don't want her to,
Yeah.
You're
You
not a
don't
Jude
want your sister to
Bellingham
be
or a Harry
happy.
Kane fan,
No,
Carrie?
and
Come on.
that's no, and look, and that's where I'm at with Spain as well. Like, I'm a Spain fan because my other sister lives there, but also I'm a Spain hater because that's her country now,
Yeah. You can't
So
have
I
family
really need
members being
France to
happy.
win.
Or Argentina.
Well, I'd still go France over Argentina, but yes.
Well, I think one thing Argentina showed last night was that they're not just Messi, so that's a good thing for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that they've showed in these last 3 games that it's like they haven't been good, but there is call it cheesy if you want, but there's something to the championship mentality and being united and overcoming and being resilient, and that's just a team like that is tough to beat. And I think you can kind of say the same thing about both England and Argentina in this one, that England, at least themselves, feel like they have another level that they haven't even played their best yet. And I think you could say the same thing about Argentina. Like, maybe they aren't that good anymore. Maybe they are just older and that's why they haven't looked good. But maybe they do. Maybe they do find another gear and it all clicks, and maybe they are able to dethrone England.
By the way, Rodrigo de Paul looks significantly younger in person than he does on TV. I just got to say.
And he looks bad on the field, too.
Yeah, well,
in
that's
a
true.
World Cup.
But Argentina, I don't think they played poorly in the games leading up to the one last night. They're just so persistent. They keep coming at you and coming at you and coming at you. But their defense really isn't that stout. I mean, you could say the same thing about England. So it'd be an interesting match. It might be a high-scoring match, actually.
I doubt it though, because I think the farther along you go, the quality teams keep usually the score will be a little bit lower because they are clamping things down a little bit more. I do think Argentina looked really tired, but I think all the teams have looked a little bit tired. Like France was not as good as they had been earlier. England was not as good as they had been earlier. Playing in Azteca takes it out of you, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I think they all look a little bit tired. And I do think it is a benefit to Argentina that they had other goal scorers step up. I was watching really closely. There was times where Messi was wide open and they were not passing to him, and that would have not happened before. So it was and I'll be honest, I was looking for Messi shots. I don't normally just look for a player for getting photos. I mean, I might focus a little bit more on them,
Last
but
chance you might have.
yeah, and I have photos of Messi in a Miami kit. I don't freaking care. I don't like that Messi. I like Messi in an Argentina kit. So I have photos of him now in an Argentina kit. And I was looking for more. I was hoping for a goal. He came close on that one where he ran in. The keeper barely saved it. I can't remember if that one was actually offside, but anyway,
It was. Yeah.
He came close on a couple of them. He had some moments, but I was very specifically watching him. And then, how we always talk about how do people not mark Messi? Because he's just walking around. It's not like somebody can't keep an eye on him, but there'd be plays going on and I would go, oh, where's Messi at? I'm looking all over the field and he's standing 20 feet from me.
Yes, I know. People, we like to hate on Messi wandering around the pitch. There is an absolute magic to what he's doing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're like, "Where's he at?" And he's literally standing on the sideline over in the corner, and no one knows he's over there.
He's just teleporting, man.
He's very good at it.
What's the Harry Potter where they just teleport someplace? There's
and sometimes he'll do it.
Yeah.
He does it he'll get into your vision. There are times in that game last night in overtime that he's standing in the middle, right next to a kanji and the trees on that back line.
Yes.
And he's just making sure you see me. I'm right here. Pay attention to me. And then 5 seconds later, he's over there and they've forgotten about him.
Yeah. Oh, we know he's right here. No, he's now over there.
Yeah.
And then there was one play where it was a corner kick Switzerland took, and all Argentina breaks out and every player is running up the field. And I'm like, where's Messi? Where's Messi? Where's Messi? Trying to find him, because that's kind of play that he'll just break and all of a sudden they'll find the ball to him and he'll just break into the to the box and shoot, right? And I'm like, I can't find Messi. I can't find Messi. And I finally look back to my left down the field, and he's just slowly jogging up the field. He was the farthest back player other than the keeper. And the keeper was kind of almost catching up to him because he was jogging up the field a little bit. So,
yeah, I
he's
think of
tired.
all those last games that Argentina played, it was becoming painfully clear to them that they had to involve other players more so than Messi. Like those other games, it was clear, like, if Messi wasn't standing next to them in that moment, or they couldn't see him in that moment, then they were out of ideas. And that was the idea, is to get the ball to Messi and have him make something happen, and then try to give him the ball right back. And so I do think that there was a concerted effort here of, there are a lot of individual brilliance on this team, and you guys can let it shine some.
So
So
what do you
I don't
guys
know.
think? What do you guys think about the 2 p.m. game times, Tuesday and
Awful.
Wednesday? Yeah.
Awful. And
not
I hope they were just not anticipating the numbers that, like, the US game got, the combined Spanish and English of 46 whatever million. I'm hoping that was just, they just weren't expecting that. And because once you see that, like, how do you not just put this at a later time? I know you're timing it for overseas, but man, that's I think that they were just underestimating that how much Americans would start to care about these things.
And I bet Argentina and England are thankful they're playing in Atlanta, in an indoor stadium where it can be climate controlled. They're not playing in Miami.
They should push it back enough so that all of Europe can understand what the East Coast has to go through when they play West Coast teams in MLS.
Yeah. And I think that wasn't that game on. I think they said it was on at, like, literally in the middle of the night in Switzerland. Is that right?
Yeah. It would have been like
Sure it
7
was, yeah.
hours. Start at 8.
Yeah.
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 So
Wow. Yeah.
So it would have been 3 a.m. for them.
Like, almost could not get any more deeper in the middle of the night than that.
That's the morning.
Okay. Um, Robert, Sports Illustrated came out with a crazy article.
Crazy, man.
5 players from the World Cup that we could see in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, one of them's ridiculous, but the 4 other are, there's possibilities here.
Okay, give us the other 4 first.
Okay. All right. So New Zealand winger, and I'll probably,
Ooh, how
even the
exciting.
J's, they sound like H's or they sound like this. I don't know. Eliza just from New Zealand winger, scored 3 goals in 3 appearances. He scored 2 against Iran, and then 1 in the defeat to Belgium. So 26 years old. So he's been in the Scottish Championship with Motherwell. So he is signed through 2027, but he's probably a player that, would be interested in coming over here and showed well in the cup.
That's not how you put butts in the seats. That's how you reward a player for a good tournament. But yeah, good job, New Zealand. Okay, what
So
else
that's
we got?
one. A name that we're all familiar with, Lukaku from Belgium. He was near the end of his career, right? But I mean, just think about him in MLS against the MLS defenses, right? I mean, he
We
could
know
tear
he
things
can
up.
still bang in goals. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. So
The
that
start
would
of
be
that is, we know he can't play 90 minutes though.
exactly. And then, I hate for St. Louis to get him, but anyway. How about this one, guys? Gio Reyna. I mean, come on. He did nothing in that last game. He did nothing in the game against Turkey.
How old is he?
Would it be a good thing for him to come to MLS? Would
No.
anybody want him? What do you guys think?
He's got to stay healthy for at least 2 months for anyone to be interested. I mean, I'm sure some team is like so desperate, us, on getting someone, but that they're just gonna, ignore the injury.
He's still only 23 years old.
He is, yeah.
Do not come back here.
And would his
Gio.
parents let him come to MLS? I don't know. I don't think
No.
Claudia would be like, okay,
do
son,
not.
go to MLS.
Stay away. Okay.
Yeah.
What else
If
we
he
got?
does though, he needs to go
That one's pretty
someplace.
crazy. I hope I'm really interested who the crazy one is, because that one's pretty crazy.
And then, okay, everybody say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. One of them is Salah, of course, with the
Oh,
rumor
yes.
going.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
Yeah. So, but let's get to the crazy one. Christian Pulisic He would never come. I don't think his mindset is even thinking about MLS unless he's
wrote this?
On one leg and he's 38 years old or something. But yeah, he was one of the players that they
Sports Illustrated they're the ones that used AI articles, right? Is this written by
Probably.
AI? I need to make sure here.
It does have a name on it, Ben Steiner.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure that sounds familiar.
It is sad though. Sports Illustrated used to be like, other than the swimsuit issue, used to be the pinnacle of actual journalism in sports, and great writers and knowledgeable, and they took their time and they researched and they talked to people, and Grant Wall obviously for soccer, and they have went again. It's probably the nature of the market in sports journalism, but
do they still do the swimsuit edition?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, they do.
They do. Man, they've fallen off. I don't even hear about that anymore.
I don't know. Like, I don't know actually.
You have to think that maybe some of these were like, I don't know, like a Pulisic or a Arena. They were like, they weren't that great in this tournament. What if an MLS team reaches out as like just throwing darts on a board, trying to see something sticks?
Well,
and
somebody's got discovery rights for both of them, right?
Yeah, and that's how SI was like, all right, they're coming to MLS for sure.
I mean, we could do that, and I would probably be irritated if somebody on our site wrote an article that just randomly picked 5 guys that played in the World Cup and said, "Oh, these guys would be primed to come to MLS now." They're under contract elsewhere. Pulisic may not have had the best World Cup, but he's mostly played pretty good for a team in Italy.
Yeah, I'm so confused at how this guy landed on all these. Are any of it based on like their contract situation, or like who they've expressed it, or there's just 5 of all the players in the World Cup? These are the 5 he thought could come here.
Well, I mean, Gio Reyna, quite honestly, is the best one that I think is in this the list of 5, because he needs a fresh start at a place that maybe he can get on the field regularly. Again, it has to be a team that's probably at the bottom of the standings and has a patient coach, and Chicago, that would be a great place for him to go.
No, Pochettino changed things for Gio. He needs to stay over there and he'll be all right.
I think that might kill Gio if he came to MLS. It was just, his self-esteem would just flatten out.
His self-esteem or Claudio's?
Yeah. and mom, whatever her name is.
We're only a few years removed from Caroline Reyna getting called up by Emma Hayes.
No, I'm not saying those things to disparage MLS. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that,
Robert's Euro snob is coming out.
Yep. I see it. So how about if you give us something prophetic? I haven't asked you that in a while.
Yeah, no.
Sporting! You have never outright refused that before.
It was going to be a struggle.
Just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.